Welcome back to another episode of Look What Jess Found. Today is episode, I believe, is 400. Today is episode 400. Wow. And I saw this Moolah penny wrapper with my other wrappers that I keep over here. And I said, let's try something a little different today. One that has the crimp roll in the back. So if you're going to measure, if you want to know if there's 50 in here, right, you have to give the space for the bottom, right? If you compare it to another one. So there's less than 50 in this. Look, I have it. It's a little bit less, probably about 2 pennies it's missing. That's okay. Because what they did is that when they put it in here, they probably measured it up to, well, they were supposed to measure it to the line. It has the line right there. See, they're under the line. So I know it's missing 2. These are a little bit of a PIA to get out, but I have a little, where's my little, I have no idea what this is for. I think this is for cuticles. But you know what I like using it for? Come on. For this, for opening up. And then I use the soft part to round off the, because it'll be hard for the coins to come out with those wrinkles on the bottom. So I'll just smoothen that out a little bit. All right, let's see. Is it going to come out smooth? I doubt it. No way. Nah. How about if I push it from behind? With this, I'll push it. Let's see if it helps. Oh, okay, it did help. All right, very good. Not bad. Very little copper, but there's copper. Where's it at? This one looks like copper right there, possibly. Well, Well, it doesn't look like there's going to be much. Oh, this one looks like copper right here. Where's it at? This one there. So as long as I see a couple coppers, it's not that I need the penny roll to have a lot of copper. I mean, I prefer it, of course, but I want to make sure that the coin roll is not cherry picked through, right? And I know if it was me, I would not put any copper back inside of the I wouldn't send copper back to the bank. So as long as I see some copper, right? I mean, if it's a federal wrap roll or a bank wrap roll, then that's different, right? Then I'm not expecting that. That's a whole different. You got to be kidding me! Is that a wheat cent? Oh no, can't be. Oh no, it's a Canadian. Interesting. And that's a whole different. I don't want to say ball game, but I guess so. There are people who like I have several of my members of the channel. You do bank wrap, federal wrap, Loomis wrapped, which I guess Loomis wrap would be a bank, I'm assuming. And I guess I'm assuming, this is an assumption, they could correct me in the comments below, but I'm assuming that they're looking for something specific, like I mean, if you're doing a box of federal wrap pennies a week, I'm assuming there's something you're looking for. You're looking for whatever, the extra V, you're looking for special 2024s. I'm not sure. Because there's a lot less, as far as I can tell, there's a lot less identifiable errors on, here's that Canadian penny. Is it a penny? I mean, is it copper? I want to say it's copper. for some reason I got like 80 something in my head as being the last year for copper for Canadians. So that's a nice find. So, and maybe, poof, man, through a microscope, man, that takes some determination, you know, to go through a box in a week. And I think Eric, one of our members, Eric, check out his channel in the comments below. He Keen Eye Collectibles. I could have swore he said at some point that, you know, he's able to do a box a day. So that's a whole that's so, in my opinion, that's kind of so different from what I'm doing. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of similarities, right? We're both looking at rolls of pennies. But Eric, I know, uses a microscope. I never asked Otis if you use a microscope or not, Otis, for because I know you said you do like, I don't know, a box a week or something like that to the effect. Is this going to be a copper? Yeah, so this is what we're looking for, just to make sure this is a interesting. Let me look at this. Like, look at that little. Oh, what's my little pointer? Look at the little mark over here. Oh wow, it looks like letters to me. Let me look at this under the loop because it might have got hit. I mean, it might not be letters. Let me just I'll be right back. It's kind of funny. I was looking at this and I was like, oh, that looks a little bit like a floating roof, which the floating roof typically is the 1969. I think there are some 1970s, and I turned it over and it was a 1969. Really cool looking penny. What causes this? I mean, they're fairly common. This one looks pretty cool. I like the line going through the mouth like that. But you notice most of the damage is on the high points. Again, the rim and the high points, right? The field is relatively clear. The field is relatively clear. So whatever did this was machining. And that's kind of one of the points I try to bring about, is not that it's I never said it was a mint error. All I said is done by machining. To put these types of marks in copper, especially this many of them, it takes a machine. You know, what type of machine holds a coin and puts so much pressure on the edge that it can make these types of damage? Only on the edges, like a coin holding machine. The only one I know of, that I know of, is the Mint. I mean, coin change counters, whatever else is out there that holds coins, there's nothing that comes down with the pressure to put marks like this around the rim that I know of. You know, and it's so but it is common. So to me, it's a mint error. It's something that, you know, it just happens at the mint. There's a dirty copper penny. There's a lot of dirt around, and every once in a while, there's one that just gets really dirty with a lot of filings. But I've never seen them sell for anything. So that it doesn't really matter if it is or is not a mint error, because they don't really sell for much. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a moot point. It's irrelevant. But somebody would have to say, "Oh yeah, no, there's this real you know." I mean, there's so many of, and there's so many of these types of pennies out there. What machine is going through millions of pennies making this type of damage? You know, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. That's all. And I know people love to say that's not mint error. That's not a mint error, but you know, well, you gotta, if you're gonna say it's not a mint error, you gotta tell me where this came from. And it's not from a what's that called? It's not from a change counting machine, or whatever, arcade game. It's not from that. This is from heavy machinery, and it's very common. So, there's got to be a machine out there that's millions of pennies are going through with high pressure to, you know, stainless steel to make those marks. And 2000, we're looking for the wide AM. So I guess those are some of the things that you're probably looking for if you're going through boxes of, newer pennies. You're looking for the wide AM, the close AM. You're looking for die clashes, strike throughs. No gas blisters at the end there. Um, you're looking for the extra V, grease strike throughs, double dies. Maybe even have a mat. You might even have a mat. I don't know. I've never had someone tell me whether or not they use a mat. So I don't know if Otis or Eric or Sandra or MAR-TAY or Ter or Bob, I don't know if any of you guys use a mat or not. You can let me know in the comments below. You can see the grease strike here, but that is like, man, and let's look. I have another copper penny here, so we could compare the what it's supposed to look like with the E plurius. Yeah, the E is supposed to be right there. This one really is missing. Let me look at this under the loop. It's there on the close inspection. I could see the shape of the E, but the grease really. Oh, you know what I didn't check for? That 69 didn't check for the weak FG. Yeah, it's pretty weak. It's pretty weak. All right. But I guess I can see the allure to going through boxes of coins a week. I mean, the only thing I could say is it must be a little bit. There has to be some sort of challenge. Well, I mean, maybe one box a week's not too bad, right? I mean, that is 52 weeks, 52 boxes a year. That's a lot of boxes, So, you know what? There's more copper in here than I thought. I'm not sure I missed it. I try not to assume it's copper because a lot of the times I think it's copper and it's not. So I'm a little bit more cautious about identifying copper when I'm looking at it through the camera like that. Yeah, but still getting 52, if you're doing one a week, I'm saying, in this example, it has to be a little challenging. First of all, they're pretty heavy. A box of pennies is pretty heavy. I don't know exactly what it weighs. It's a pretty penny for 2005. Interesting. Look at the marks around the edge. I've seen that. I don't know what that error is. I wish I could remember everything I saw. I wish if I had a photographic memory, forget about it. You can tell it affected the strike and everything. And I've seen that before with those little lines like coming out. I don't know what it is though. If I had a photographic memory, forget about it. Well, most The funny thing is, and most people would not know this, but unless you took like psychology, in psychology they do a lot of IQ stuff, in like undergraduate psychology anyway, unless you go to advanced psychology and that's your specialty. But in undergraduate, they talk a lot about IQ and IQ generally, basically, we're looking for the white AM, comes down to memory. I mean, it's pretty simple, man. Which is why people with really good memories tend to have higher IQs. Um, and people with photographic memories tend to have extremely high IQs, 140, 150, 160. And they're able to, like a hard drive, go through their memories, and they can walk through the dates, and they see themselves in their mind's eye. Feeder error. Probably a feeder error. You can see the scrapes. Um, and they're very difficult to win arguments with because they remember everything. If I don't know if anyone's ever watched that TV show Taxi, from the 70s, right? With what's that guy's name? The short Danny DeVito, and the other guy. He was a boxer, and the professor from Back in the Future. So there's a lady in it. I think I can't. She's a cab driver too. There's one female. There might be two females, but there's one that I can remember with the red hair, and she has a photographic memory, and she did some documentaries about it. And I think she had like either several marriages or definitely two marriages, and the first one or the first couple, you know, didn't work out because you can't. She knows everything, 'cause she has a photographic memory. She knows everything, So people like to win arguments every once in a while. You can't lose every argument. You know what I mean? Anyway, I guess you can. Whoever I remember her last husband, basically, I don't know if she's still with him or not. That would be pretty funny to know if she's still with him or not. But he was like ultra laid back and like, yeah, whatever. She knows everything. He was just like super, super relaxed because he was part of the interview at one point. I think the interviewer or the documentary like spoke to him, was like, "Hey, how do you deal with this lady who knows everything?" And I just remember his attitude or personality being just very laid back, like, yeah, whatever. And that's the type of person I would imagine she'd have to be with. Um, but in relationship to coins and what we're doing here, I mean, I spent countless hours going through um, coin era websites, looking up errors, and I can't remember very few. Like I could kind of identify. Like I said, I seen like the little lines coming from the edge, and I kind of remember that from somewhere. But I can't bring back the information as far as what the error is. I can't remember. So I don't win many arguments, right? Because I can't remember anything. I have to look everything up like 10 times. So that's why I'm a very big proponent of, advocate, to say, hey, I'm not sure, or probably, you use those, like, oh, is that an error? Well, most likely. I mean, again, unless you're a genius, you're a expert, you know. I try to steer away from that that's definitely this or that. Man, like I said, me personally, I can't remember much, and I have an average IQ, which I guess most people have an average IQ, right? So my audience is for the average Joe and Jane. You know, an expert would not like me because a lot of I don't know what I'm. I can't recall what a lot of the errors are. I have to stop the video. I have to go looking for them, and to me, that's normal. So anyway, that's just my opinion. But back to looking, people who go through, boxes and boxes of penny rolls. I really, that's really it's a different skill. It's a different, I mean, this takes time, right? The penny roll, this takes a half hour. Then I'm trying to do at least, I was going to do those like one day a month where I did like 50 videos, but I decided to try to do at least 10 shorts for for each for each one of my episodes. And I've been failing. I did 8 one, I did 9 the other. I did 10 a couple times. But 10, anyway, it's hard. It's difficult to do 10, but that's my goal, is to try to do 10 short videos. And so that's like another 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. And then of course the uploading, the thumbnail, all those things take, so it ends up coming out to, if I'm super focused and fast, and I'm like, it's a half hour here, it's 15 minutes there, that's 45 minutes. I could probably knock it out in an hour and a half. Which, if you want to do the math, an hour and a half a day, and that's if I only do one episode, that would be 7 plus 3 point. Let's just call it 10 hours a week. So a month, I'm putting a full week's work, minimum about 40 hours a month into this. So I get about $150. So if you want to do the math, probably make about 5 cents an hour or something like that. But it is what it is. I enjoy doing it. But a box, I'd love to, anyone out there who does a box straight, right? Like you're ripping through a box. Like I've seen like Rob Finds Treasures and what's his name? Two Shed Gabby's, like they'll do boxes or like large amounts of change in one episode. And they stop the video, and then they show that they're fast forwarding or whatever the case may be, but they're not doing, like I do it straight through. I mean, I do pause to I just started pausing recently to look at the coins off camera, so that way I don't keep people waiting while I'm inspecting the coin. Or if I'm going to look something up online, usually I will not. I'll pause the video now. But I'm interested to know how long it takes per box, to go through a box. I'm interested to know. Does it take, I mean, I would think it's taking hours, 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, and then you have to put them back into the roll. Oh my God, that's got to be murder. I'd probably buy a special machine just to do it if I was going to do one a week. So I don't know if Otis has. It goes another 69. We'll look at the floating roof and FG on the back. I don't know if Otis or Eric uses. It does have the weak FG, and I guess it has kind of. And right there, it looks like the roof is floating. So, um, not a not an. It's not an identifiable error, but some people do look for it and think it's cool and probably save it and collect it. Yeah, so I'm interested to know how much time it takes to. It's a pretty cool surface. It's a really really cool. I love when when there's a texture on the surface and then it goes through the. Oh, that is beautiful. You know what? I'm gonna clean this one up. I like that a lot. When the surface goes through the Lincoln like that, I like that a lot. They're not that common, but I'll probably find one like that every, I don't know, 1,000 pennies, 500 pennies, something like that. So I got a good week into my a good week of time. 40 hours a month into the channel, so I'm okay with that. I have other things that I do. I have my own, at home business, and let me look at that off camera. Hold on. It's just a bunch of gook. It's just that it was going in the same direction as the line of the Lincoln Memorial. So I was just wondering if it was um, whatever, a die clash or something like that. Double die. Another cop. All right. Well, I think we have one, two. I think the Canadians cop 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 5, and this is a nice one. It's probably misaligned die. That's 5, 6, 7. We have 8. Oh, and we might have 2 more, and that'll be our. Well, I can't believe this. I can. Oh, let me see. I cannot believe that this. Oh, wow. I'm gonna have to put this into the cleaning jar. Let me look at it under the loop. So I did clean off by the D in for God in the motto, and because it looks like it has some separation, but so you can see like I took some of the blue off. It came off easy enough. This penny probably would clean up pretty nicely inside mineral spirits. I just don't know. I mean, the reverse is it's not worth it. So I'm not gonna do it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if we can get. Let's see if we can get 2 more. Oops. Excuse me. So this is. I think this is number 10. I can't believe we had 10 coppers out of there. I really, really. You see, this is why I love customer wrap penny rolls, because you just never know what you're gonna get. It, even when you think you're gonna get one thing, you end up getting something else, and I really like that surprise. It's why I can keep doing it. If not, I probably get bored with it. One of the video game that I like playing is Fortnite. I've been playing Fortnite since season 2 or something like that. I think they're up to season 8. I've been playing it for a long time, 5, 6 years, something like that. And I'm gonna look at that inside of his neck, right by the bow tie. I'll be right back. I'm pretty sure that's just the. I just never noticed it really. That his coat on the other side of his neck going up. It's just. I guess this coin is just so clear that you can see that little detail. Yeah. So Fortnite. It's just the game is always changing. Now they have Godzilla with King Kong. I mean, it's always changed. They had last season. They had Snoop Dogg and Shaquille O'Neal. So if not, I mean, a lot of people would probably just stop playing. If you think of like MOD and a lot of these other games, they just die out. People just stop playing them because they just um get bored. You know, they're boring. But penny roll hunting, you know, you can just keep on. I'm looking for the white AM there, a white AM. It's just, you could just keep doing it and doing it. I think Otis said he's been doing it since 1982, one of our members. And I mean, that's 10 years before my son was born. So that's 40, that 43 years, you know, that's incredible since I was a little kid. All right. Well, this concludes another episode of Look What Jess Found. And this is episode 400. It was pretty, I thought it was pretty interesting. There was much more copper than I thought. We got 5 there. Which one is this? Oh, that's 6. 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 10 on the nose. Make sure I didn't throw any coppers in here. No. So that's 20% copper, right? That's how you know how much copper you got. You just double it, and that gives you the percentage. So 20% copper. And remember, there was a few pennies short in that moolah roll. So that's pretty awesome. And thank you and God bless. And I'll see you in episode 401.